So here is the really important part and the exciting part. No, not just the Ryan Gosling thing. Hey girl, travel abroad discounts are the best. What are you waiting for? Isn't that cool? I did that. I made that meme. That was my first meme. Ryan Gosling was my first meme. Huh. Okay, anyway, enough of that. The great news about all three of these tours is that we argued really long and hard with the travel company to get the very, very lowest price that we could. And we promised them we were going to bring a big group, we were going to go in the off season like we always do. And we really went round and round by phone and email to try to get the lowest price we could. We were determined to get a really low price. Now, the low price doesn't last forever, but it is locked in. Now, I have to explain it to you, okay? EF allows people who are under 30, if they're willing to room quad, that's up to 4 people to a room in twin beds usually. It's almost always twin beds, I think. And they're able to do that. Private bathroom in the hotel, right? You don't have to share a bathroom down the hall or anything like that. Sometimes it's 3 to a room or even 2 to a room, but up to 4 to a room if you're willing to do that. People under 30 for the Italian tour, all costs included, would be 2405. The Alps tour, it's 2415, and the Celtic tour is 2460. In other words, they're roughly about the same cost. There really isn't a big difference in price. So you really should vote based on where you would really like to go. It's not that big of a cost difference. Now, again, the hotels are generally 3-star hotels or so. Think Ramada, maybe Best Western, something like that. It's not Hyatt Regency living, okay? It's not that expensive, but it's also not hostel. It's not bed and breakfast. It's not one of these places where you have to share a bathroom down the hall, like I said. Generally, they're clean, comfortable, and safe hotels. And if they're not, we usually get them to do something about it. Usually, okay? Generally speaking, I've only had a couple of disappointments. And most of the time, it's, the furniture might be from the 80s, or you have to wait a little bit for the hot water to warm up. Some of the hotels are in great locations, but they're kind of older. But they're clean, comfortable, and safe. And if the rooms aren't, then we switch, okay? But generally speaking, that's the case. And what's wonderful about it is that if you've traveled with us before, they used to do these departure fee things that could change all the way up to like 30 days before we left. They're no longer doing variable departure fees. This is the price you pay once you register. When you register, this is what you're going to pay, okay? Now, if you're 30 and over, it's a little higher because if you're 30 and over, you room 2 people to a room rather than up to 4 people to a room, okay? And also sometimes some of the discounts that you get for college student folks, they don't give those in Europe to people over 30, even though in this country we have folks going to college at all different points in their life. In Europe, they don't typically do that. But it's not a terribly larger cost difference, as you can see. We're still trying to keep it around the $2,500–$2,600 range there for anybody who's 30 and over. Now, if you're under 30 and you want to room double, you can do that. You have to pay a little bit more, but you can room double. Now, here's the other cool thing that goes along with it. If you've traveled before with us or with some other school and you traveled with this company before, they give you another $100 off. So in other words, if you choose, say, the Celtic tour and you've already traveled with us before, or if you've traveled with a previous school, maybe your high school before, and you went with EF, this same company, they will give you another $100 off. So the Celtic tour, for example, would be $2,360, or if you're 30 and over, $2,540. Okay, so that's how that would work. It's pretty sweet. That's a really neat deal, and all you have to do is just register for it. They're going to know if you've traveled with them before, and they're going to automatically apply that discount. Now, these prices assume several things. One, that we're going to have a tip fundraiser. Rather than pass the hat and charge everybody a standard flat fee for the tips, our tour director and local guides, it's expected that you tip them. They make their livings doing that. In the past, we have passed the hat and asked everybody to kick in, say, $50–$60. We're going to give everybody an option this year to save money. We're going to have a fundraiser that if you participate in it, that'll cover your tips. But if you don't want to participate in the fundraiser and you just rather write the check for the tip, well, it's going to be probably about an extra $60–$70 to cover tips. It's going to be your choice. But the price I'm quoting there assumes that you are going to participate in our tip fundraiser, okay? So we'll have more about that a little bit later on. The other thing that the price assumes is this. If we get 40 people to register, they're going to give us a $2,000 rebate back to our group. I'm naturally going to ask them to apply that to all the 40 people who registered. So that would be an extra $50 off. Now, that's what we're assuming is going to happen. If we get a group of 40 and they give us $2,000 back, then we're going to apply that to everybody equally, and it could be $50, but if we have 60 or 70 people, it could be a little bit less than that. On the other hand, we are probably going to go pretty big with this tour. We are probably going to bring as many as 80 people, which means 2 buses, right? And if we do that, then everybody can get the $50 discount. So what I'm saying is that this is including a sort of $50 rebate that we're going to ask them to do should we get up to that. I'm pretty sure there's going to be some rebate. How much it's going to be will depend on the size of our group. So we're hoping for $50 per person off. It also includes a $150 early discount, which I understand is good through the month of October. That's what we were promised, is that this price includes a $150 discount that's good through October. All right? After October, who knows what the pricing is going to be? We don't know. But this is the price they're promising us through October, and if you participate in the fundraiser, if we get that rebate and it ends up being $50, and if you register before October, then these are the prices that we have been promised, okay? Under 30s have to be willing to room quad. The early discount and base price are subject to change until you register, okay? So as of now, this is what this is, and if you sign up, and you can sign up, I'll tell you in the next slide how to do that, then you can lock in the price, okay? Now remember that most of our students at TW who are taking the class can apply for a scholarship. That is something that we don't do until about February, but we've had incredible success. We're batting about 1,000 on that. Almost everybody that I know of who's applied for a scholarship has gotten one, and typically they range somewhere between $800 and $1,200. Mostly depends on the cost of what you're doing. An expensive tour would probably get you a bigger scholarship. A less expensive one would probably be smaller. But I'm unaware of anybody who bothered applying and who was in good standing with our program and with the university who didn't get some assistance on it, okay? So we'll walk you through that process, but that's something you won't know whether you're going to get a scholarship until the spring semester next year. But if you bother to go and do it, chances are very, very high that you're going to get some sort of level of support, okay?